My name is Brian Abernathy. I'm the first Deputy Managing Director. Thank you for coming to this cleanup, the first cleanup of the Philadelphia Resilience Project. Today's event won't solve the litter problem or the discarded needles that this community has faced on a daily basis. We're not naive. It is, however, a visible reminder of what we're trying to do here. With Tom Conway's leadership, it's our hope that the Resilience Project will continue to develop innovative ideas to tackle this serious quality of life issue. I want to take this opportunity to thank him and his entire mission area team, CLIP, the Streets Department, and all the city staff that have worked to make today possible. I also want to thank the residents, the nonprofits, the businesses, and the volunteers for their support for all their efforts today. Today is All Saints Day, and the way I've been taught is All Saints are those people who have meant something to us personally. All of the city staff, the volunteers, the businesses, all of y'all are saints, and today is your day. As I said 2 weeks ago, the Resilience Project won't be successful if the city is acting alone. These partnerships and this support is vital if we're going to make this work. We have a lot of city staff out here today, but there are dozens of city staff that work in this community every day. Sanitation crews, police officers, CLIP, L&I, EMS, outreach workers, SEPTA staff. Each day they work and each day they judge success by a single win. That one individual they helped, that one lot they cleaned, that one house that they sealed. Their resilience speaks to the very essence of what I think is public service. This is not an easy community to work in, but I also know it's even harder community to live in. I hope we earn the trust and the respect of Kensington and the surrounding neighborhoods as the Resilience Project continues and we begin to foster and make real change. Before I turn it over to the Managing Director, I want to remind everyone who is not trained to pick up needles, don't pick up needles. There will be trained staff on each block to assist with them. Please don't risk being stuck and find staff to help you. They'll be identified by name as you register. I'm going to turn over the program to Mike DeBerardinis, the city's managing director, who for the past 2.5 years has elevated these issues and has driven much of what's happened to date. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out, both city employees and neighborhood residents and leaders across Kensington to support this cleanup effort. Over the last 2.5 years, under the leadership of Mayor Kenny, the city, under the Managing Director's office, has coordinated efforts across Kensington and across the city to respond to this opioid crisis. Small towns, rural communities, and big cities all over America are struggling to find solutions and ways to alleviate the effects of this terrible disease and plague. And we in Philly have worked really hard with the opioid task force early in the administration to figure out how do we cut down on the availability of prescription drugs that lead to addiction. How do we communicate and educate across neighborhoods the dangers of these drugs? So, but today is the beginning of a really big resilience effort where we not only coordinate more deeply through the Managing Director's office with the police, with L&I, with the Office of Homeless Services, with DHS, across the board, connecting to the leadership of Kensington and the nonprofits and community organizations to have a consistent and measured impact against this disease. It's only because we've had leadership from the mayor's office, but also from our city council, that we're here today pushing us to do more, to be more effective, and to measure our results. And it is my pleasure to introduce the councilperson from this district, Maria Quinones Sanchez, who's been a great supporter of our work and an advocate for her district. Maria.
Thank you, Mike D., and all of the folks involved in the city. What you see here is an effort led by our mayor to coordinate and not only work hard, but work smart in a very intentional way about what we want the outcomes to be. On the behalf of the long-term residents who live in Kensington, I guarantee you that we're not going to do to Kensington what we did to my own neighborhood of Hunting Park. I lived the 80s and the drug epidemic there, and we arrested our way out of there. And we never went back and did investments or restorative practices for the folks that were traumatized. I will not normalize what I lived through in Hunting Park for the residents of Kensington. And that's why it's hugely important that all the public servants who've been here for months, as Mike D said, Streets Department, L&I, everyone has been on the ground with our community partners, ASID, Impact, all of the folks, Sisters of Mercy, Sisters of St. Joe's. They live through this every single day. We're here today to fix the physical plant. Fixing Kensington is going to take much longer. Meeting people for treatment where they are still needs a lot of work. Kensington community has been the location of dozens of methadone clinics. We have tons of providers. We have put up and located respite centers, but we can't take any more. It is unfair that the 700 people who now occupy these streets have occupied our neighborhoods and made it unsafe for the long-term residents. Kensington has been sympathetic. Kensington residents have been patient, pero no más. No más. And today's cleanup is just symbolic of folks saying, we'll roll up our sleeves and help, and government can't do it all, but these kids in Kensington should not experience this much longer. So I am very thankful for all of you, and I ask you to join us on this journey as we hold ourselves accountable. As the mayor committed a month ago when he made this declaration, if it doesn't work, we will fix it. But we're not going to fix it on the backs of the young people who will forever be traumatized if we think this is normal. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here. And I want to thank all involved, city employees, community leaders, and the people who live here. None of us created this problem, but we're living with it, and we have to address it. And the measures that we've taken early on weren't effective enough. And we had to step up our game, and we're stepping up our game now. This is not a one and done. This is a one and continuing. We need to get out here and keep this environment clean and respectable, and we need to deal with the folks who are here who are suffering, both the people who are addicted and the people who are living with the addicted. And unlike the 80s and 90s, locking our way up out of this problem did not work then on the crack epidemic and will not work now. We need to be compassionate, we need to provide resources, and we need to understand why people get in the situations they're in and have them unwind their lives to get back to normal. I agree with the councilwoman that this neighborhood has not only suffered the most from this terrible plague, but has given the most. And we understand that living with this is difficult. We understand what our kids see every day, and we want to try to fix that. But it's going to take a little bit of time, a lot more resources. And remember, we're on our own here. While the federal government's talking about building walls and sending the army to the border to stop women and children from saving their own lives, we're here without any resources from the federal government. While we were told years ago that these opioids were not addictive, that they were painkillers and you'd be fine, and here's 30 or 40 in a prescription, and we wind up after 2 or 3 prescriptions, even after one, addicted. It's all about greed with those folks, Big Pharma, it's all about greed. And also with the NRA and guns, it's all about greed. It's all about making money on the backs of poor people. We understand your situation. We will be here for you. We will be here with you. It'll take some time, but we're not giving up. There are no such thing as throwaway people, and there are no such thing as throwaway neighborhoods. We'll be here and continue to be here. And we appreciate your patience, and we appreciate, more importantly, your hard work in making this a better place. God bless.
I think if there are any questions, we have a little bit of time to answer questions. As volunteers get off, I do want to remind y'all, don't pick up needles unless you're trained to pick up needles. And again, thank all of y'all for your help. This is going to be an ongoing effort. This is one cleanup of many that are going to continue. as we move forward. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Tom? The question is, do we have this plotted out? Is it once a month? We do have it plotted as the greatest need, and we're going to be addressing those needs as we go forward. Tom Conway's mission area is exactly to do that, is to plan exactly how to address each of these issues on an ongoing basis. I'm not going to say we have that plan in detail today, but we are continuing those efforts. Today we're focused on Kensington and Fairhill and the surrounding areas. We are looking at potential to pilot additional mechanical street sweeping as we go forward. I'm sorry. Sure. The question is, are we on target to meet other goals? Let me provide that to you after this. Currently, the funding for this effort is all within the city budget today. We're currently looking at our funding and may have appropriations ask of City Council shortly. Tom? How much are we spending today? How much are we spending today? We won't know that number until afterwards, but we can certainly get it to you. Any other?
Yeah, we appreciate all the cleanup and everybody coming over, but we are here every day on the streets and we try to take people to detox. We need more beds. We don't have enough beds available because we'll take somebody to a assessment center for them to find them a bed, and then we see them next day on the street because there was no bed. We got to find a solution. We need more beds, so that we can take the people that need the help, get them the help that they need, so that they don't come back and continue the same cycle.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. We do need more beds. On one of the efforts, we have a few different efforts that are moving besides just the type of cleanup that we're doing. So part of it is about how do we get treatment on demand, so folks can receive that treatment that they need when they need it. And part of it is also providing shelter and getting people off the street. So folks don't have to continue to step over folks as they go to work, as they go to school, and really protect the neighborhood. But you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, y'all. Thank you again for all your work, and look forward to getting this done. Thank you.